Well, I'm going slideless. I'm riding off the back of somebody else whose slide is going to go forward. I am a faculty member of the Department of Anthropology. I'm very pleased to be participating with the newly constituted Institute for Oceans and Fisheries. Remembering the days when there used to be the Fisheries Center sitting in a bunch of huts somewhere loosely over there kind of thing. My research is social relations based, predominantly with human communities who derive their livelihood off of fisheries, as well as other different types of resources. I am myself a member of the Kakatla Nation, which is a community on the north coast of British Columbia, and been involved for the community in terms of drafting different types of expert opinion reports defending the community's rights and title under Canadian law. As part of that, we've engaged in what might be called historical reconstruction of past fisheries with an eye toward asserting and controlling contemporary fisheries practices on the north coast. And one of the parts of that has been engaging with what I like to now call the kelp forest ecologist parable of the evil otter exterminators. And I'm a bit tongue-in-cheek there, but what we've actually been able to do is the first time actually find evidence of abalone in significant quantities in the Kakatla village site, which really raises some questions over the ideas of natural balances and natural ecosystem models absent of human interaction. And for those of you who know the kind of the kelp forest story and the integration between abalones and urchins and otters, etc., and the human intervention with fur trade, know that there's a kind of parable that fits to this model. Part of my work and the work that I've done in terms of fisheries is suggesting that human beings have always had some kind of impact, and is often deliberate and considered, and in terms of Indigenous peoples, it's typically ignored. Coming out of BC Studies this fall was part of a special issue of Alan McMillan and Ian McKechnie called The Outer Shores, and we have the paper in there on the abalone, which is partially referred to, called Vindication, Appropriation, and Archaeology. We want to vindicate the fact that we always knew we ate abalone, and that this is some kind of interesting scientific evidence that shows how that occurs. So the type of research I do is trying to link different methodological approaches from Indigenous perspectives, Indigenous intellectual frameworks, to different types of scientific techniques that we appropriate. And I want to end by saying it's rather like asking the question, is there an Indian backhoe or excavator? And I would like to say it doesn't really matter. The question is who's not sitting on the seat running it, but who's actually giving the overall planning controls devices that makes it an Indian backhoe. Of course, if you ever say the word Indian directly to me, I will probably call you on using that term. That being said, there is an important role for these kind of mixed methods of science, social science, Indigenous perspectives for understanding the world we live in, and that's the kind of research that I'm engaged in doing. Thank you for the time. I look forward to meeting a lot of you as the years go by.